Number 1 is a ship we should all be familiar with. The Titanic. Celebrated as the biggest and most opulent ship of its day, the RMS Titanic was reputed to be unsinkable when it sailed in 1912. On a tragic first trip from Southampton to New York City, it collided with an iceberg. Since the catastrophe, which took more than 1,500 lives, it has come to represent human arrogance. It serves as a sobering reminder that occasionally, even the greatest human creations can fall short of nature. Number 2. We then get into the Lusitania sinking, a tragedy that caused great indignation around the world and profoundly affected the direction of World War I. This British ocean liner, launched in 1906, sank in approximately 18 minutes off the coast of Ireland after being destroyed by a German U-boat in 1915. Somewhere around 1,200 people died. The episode is surrounded in controversy, and discussions about the ship's purported explosive cargo are still going strong. Number 3. Turning now to the story of the Bismarck, one of the most formidable battleships of World War II. The 1940 launch of the Bismarck by Nazi Germany saw it take part in the Battle of the Atlantic. May 1941 saw it sink as the British Navy pursued it non-stop. Only found in 1989, the debris is buried far out in the North Atlantic and is a somber undersea war tomb for around 2,000 sailors. Number 4. Our next ship is the SS Andrea Doria, an Italian ocean liner whose sinking became one of the most notorious maritime tragedies of the 20th century. In thick fog off the coast of Nantucket in 1956, Andrea Doria collided with the MS Stockholm while traveling to New York. A new age in safety rules was ushered in by the disaster's successful rescue of the majority of those on board, despite the terrible loss of 46 lives. Number 5. Halfway down our list is the RMS Republic, one of the first significant shipwrecks to use radio assistance in rescue efforts. The Republic, so named because of her wealthy passengers, sank in 1909, following a collision with the SS Florida off the coast of Massachusetts. Even though there was not much death toll, the ship was said to have carried a large amount of gold coins, which has led to continuous and mysterious treasure searches. Number 6. We now learn the tale of the Vasa, a Swedish vessel that is well known for both its remarkable preservation and her demise. Launched in 1628, the Vasa tragically perished 1,300 meters off the coast of Stockholm on its maiden voyage. It topped over because there wasn't enough ballast and it was top-heavy. Recovered in 1961 in astonishingly fine shape, it provides a rare window into the craftsmanship and maritime history of the 17th century. Number 7. Turning now to a more recent catastrophe, the MV Doña Paz. Known as the Titanic of the Philippines in 1987, this passenger ferry sank when it struck the oil tanker MT Vector. At almost 4,300 deaths, the accident is the greatest maritime tragedy in history to occur during peacetime. The ship was dangerously packed, and the absence of lifeboats and life jackets added to the tragedy, underscoring serious problems with marine safety rules. Number 8. Then we recall the USS Arizona, a moving representation of the 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor. Japanese bombing of this American battleship on December 7, 1941, resulted in a disastrous explosion and sinking. Trapped underneath the submerged hull, more than 1,100 crew members died, a sobering reminder of the lives lost and the lasting effects of that terrible day, is the USS Arizona Memorial in Pearl Harbor today. Number 9. As we get closer to the end of our list, we investigate the Mary Rose. First launched in 1511, she was King Henry VIII's flagship in many of his conflicts with France. Tragically, in 1545, during a combat, the Mary Rose sank, killing roughly 500 men. Extracted from the sea in 1982, it is currently housed in a Portsmouth museum and provides an intriguing look into Tudor naval combat and day-to-day living on board a ship. Number 10. Our list ends with the Medusa, a French frigate whose crew's terrifying survival story made her shipwreck off the coast of Senegal in 1816, notoriously well known. The surviving were left afloat on an improvised raft when the ship grounded, where they suffered terrible conditions. The Raft of the Medusa by Theodore Géricault immortalizes this terrible incident by capturing the hopelessness and misery of those on board. The sea conceals a great deal of information, some of which are buried beneath waves that may suddenly change from peaceful to devastating. In fact, if you're fascinated by the power and mystery of the ocean, you won't want to miss our next video on rogue waves. Go farther into the stories of the strongest waves in the ocean by clicking here.